Companies are dropping seven figures on AI talent right now, but most people are completely wasting their time learning the wrong skills. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're exposing the million-dollar AI misconception and handing you the exact step-by-step 2026 roadmap to become a highly paid AI engineer. I'm Aria Lin. Welcome to Robtech 2045. All right, let's jump right in. If you're looking for the fastest, most direct path to becoming a highly paid AI engineer by 2026, then this is for you. We are going to lay out the exact roadmap, step by step, based on what companies are actually looking for right now. So first, why all the hype? Well, look at this number. This is the kind of jaw-dropping compensation senior AI engineers at top-tier companies can pull in. We're talking over $1.2 million. And even if you're not at the absolute top, the pay is still incredible. The demand is just completely off the charts. Okay, so if the opportunity is that huge, what's the catch, right? I mean, why isn't everyone with a keyboard becoming an AI engineer? Well, it turns out there's a huge fundamental misunderstanding about what the job even is. And this right here is the real problem. So many aspiring engineers spend months, sometimes even years, just grinding away at the wrong skills. They're chasing down deep, complex theory when what the market really wants is people who can build practical applications. It's a huge waste of time and, honestly, super frustrating. So to get you on the right track, we first have to tackle this million-dollar misconception. We need to get crystal clear on what an AI engineer actually does day to day. This slide breaks it down perfectly. See, most people think of an AI researcher. That's the person with a PhD reading academic papers and trying to invent a brand new neural network from scratch. They're like an engine inventor. But here's the secret. Companies aren't hiring engine inventors. They're hiring car builders. They need AI engineers who can take the powerful engines that already exist and build real working apps that solve actual business problems. And that brings us to the key definition. At its core, an AI engineer is a software engineer, period. They specialize in using pre-trained models, the ones made by Google or OpenAI, and integrating them through APIs to build things. Their job isn't to research AI, it's to deliver AI. Okay, so with that clarity, let's talk about the toolkit. What skills do you actually need to build? We're going to break it down into the absolute foundations you can't skip and the modern skills that will make you an irresistible hire in 2026. All right, these are the non-negotiables. This is the bedrock. You need production-ready Python, not just flimsy scripts you wrote following a tutorial. You have to be fluent in Git and GitHub, because in this world, your GitHub profile is your resume. You'll be working with APIs and JSON constantly to connect different services. And yes, you do need to understand core ML concepts. Things like embeddings, which are just a fancy way of saying numerical fingerprints for data, are fundamental to how AI understands words and images. And of course, good old data structures and algorithms are still vital for writing code that actually works at scale. Now for the exciting stuff. First up, RAG. This is probably one of the single most in-demand skills out there right now. And why is that? Well, because a generic chatbot is cool, but a company needs an AI that understands their private documents, their user data. RAG is the magic that connects a powerful language model to a company's own private knowledge base. And that leads us perfectly into the next crucial area, ML ops. Look, having a brilliant model sitting in a developer's notebook is totally useless to a business. ML ops is the whole engineering discipline of taking that model, deploying it into a live production environment, and making sure it can handle millions of users reliably. It's what separates hobby projects from professional AI systems. Okay, so we know the job, we know the tools, but how do you actually learn all of this in a way that makes sense? How do you put it all together? Well, let's look at the roadmap, which lays it all out in a clear, step-by-step path. This quote right here, it perfectly captures the mindset you need. The game has changed. It's no longer about just collecting certificates or learning AI. It's about becoming someone who can deliver AI, someone who can build real systems that provide value. Everything in our roadmap is built around this idea. So here it is, the roadmap boiled down to 4 clear phases. Step 1, you absolutely have to master the software engineering foundations. Then, in phase 2, you start building real applications using LLMs and APIs. Phase 3 is where you level up and learn to engineer production-grade systems with skills like RAG and MLOps. And finally, phase 4 is all about a single goal: getting you job ready. So how long does all of this take? Well, it really depends on where you're starting from. If you're already a software engineer, you could make this transition in just 3 to 4 months. If you're learning full-time from a different background, give yourself about 6 months. And if you're doing this part-time on nights and weekends, then a year to 15 months is a totally realistic and achievable timeframe. All right, let's talk about the payoff. Once you've put in the work and you've got the skills, what does the job market actually look like? Let's dive into the specific roles, the salaries, and what recruiters are desperate to see. The sheer scale of the opportunity here is, well, it's wild. There are over 500,000 open AI and machine learning jobs globally right now. And this isn't some flash in the pan. The field is expected to keep growing like crazy. There is a massive talent gap, and companies are willing to pay top dollar to fill it. And just look at some of the paths you can take. You could be a Gen AI engineer building cool apps with tools like LangChain, or maybe a more traditional machine learning engineer working with frameworks like PyTorch. Or you could specialize as an MLOps engineer, focusing entirely on deploying and scaling models using tools like Docker and Kubernetes. The bottom line is there are a ton of different roles, and they are all incredibly lucrative. So how do you actually land one of these jobs? Okay, listen closely, because this is the most important part. Your portfolio is everything. Seriously, forget about certificates. Recruiters and hiring managers want to see proof that you can build stuff. That means a clean, well-documented GitHub profile with at least 3 complete end-to-end projects. And, this is the key, they have to be live deployed projects with demos people can actually use, not just code sitting in a Jupyter notebook. So, there you have it. We've laid out the entire playbook, the mindset, the essential skills, the step-by-step roadmap, and the career that's waiting for you. The path is clearer than it's ever been, and the demand is absolutely insane. The only question left is, what are you going to build first? Remember, the market doesn't care about your AI certificates. It only cares what you can actually deploy. What real-world problem are you going to solve with your first AI project? Tell me below. Hit subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming deep dive into advanced RAG architectures, and get to building.